So with so many teachers jumping on board with using Google Classroom, I thought this would be a good time to show you this little trick. So from the Classwork page where you have your assignments, you can actually click on an assignment and go to the 3 dots and copy a link directly to that assignment. So that link can go on, say, a choice board or a Google Doc or a checklist or whatever you may be creating that's also connected to that assignment for that student. So instead of searching that classwork page that can often just be really full of lots of different materials, that is a quick way to get back to that assignment. So if you didn't know this, you can copy and paste emojis into Google Classroom. You can add these to your topics and your assignments. So you can give students a little bit more of a visual cue, something fun, something that will guide them and help them differentiate what you have on the screen. So let's look at how easy this is to do. So I have a topic right here today at the very top, and I'm going to go to my 3 dots, rename, and I'm going to add an emoji right in front of this. So I'm going to flip on over to emoji copy. This is just one of the many places you can get emojis. I'm going to search for sun. I found my sun. It's down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click copy. And now I'm going to pop back over to Google Classroom and paste, or Control V on my keyboard, click rename. And so now I've added that emoji to my today topic. And you can see I've added other emojis to the actual assignments in Google Classroom as well. And you can even do this in your Google files. So you can name your docs, your folders. You can use emojis just about anywhere you want to. So hey y'all. With so many teachers accessing free and maybe even paid resources online that are links to Google files, so like a Google Doc or a Google slide deck, you often find yourself wondering, what do I do with this? How do I get this to my students? And so I wanted to create a video, one, because my inbox is full of messages of people requesting access to some of my templates, and I want to make sure that teachers understand what to do with these. So I'm on one of my blog posts here. You can see interactive learning menus or choice boards with G Suite that has some free templates. This is one of the most popular posts that I've ever had on Shake Up Learning, and there are lots of templates in here that you can use. So there is a link to a blank tic-tac-toe template, as well as this novel study one you see right here. So there are a lot of different ways that you can view these and make a copy. So I just wanted to walk you through to show you exactly how this works. So for instance, if you click here and it says, use my blank tic-tac-toe template. Well, this particular one pops up as a template link, and you see the button that says use template. When you click on use template, it will automatically make a copy and add it to your Google Drive. So this is sort of the equivalent of a save as button when you make a copy of something in a Google file type. And this is not just in Google Docs. This is the same way it works in slides and sheets and drawings. Forms and sites are a little bit different, but you can see here, now I have my own copy. It's saved to my drive, and guess what? I now have editing access. That's one way you may see it, is with that template link. The other way, so you can see I just had a little screenshot here of one, and it says click here to use the novel study tic-tac-toe template. Well, again, this is a template link, so you use that template button. But we've already seen how that one works. And then it says on mobile, click here to make a copy. The thing I want you to know about these, let's get back to the template link. These do not work well on mobile devices. So they just don't. So usually when I offer ways to make copies, I do it a couple of different ways. The use template link, where you see that button, and then other times you may see it in a different format. So I'm going to close this one. This is click here to make a copy. Well, when you click here to make a copy, you don't actually see what it looks like. And that's kind of the drawback to using this format. But this one will work on mobile if you have your Google accounts and apps set up on your mobile device. So if not, it will ask you to log in right here. So clicking make a copy works slightly differently, but by clicking this button, it's going to make a copy of this document and save it to my drive. Just like the template link, only difference is this one actually names it copy of. But again, now it's mine. Now I can click on it. Now I can edit it and make it work for my kids. You'll also notice on a lot of my templates, I put this line right here, teachers, click here to make a copy and save to your drive. And so many teachers don't see this. They don't read it. But again, I just added that make a copy link right there. Now, the other thing that you may occasionally run into is seeing a view only access like this. And this is where most people don't know what to do. They see it, they're clicking around like, I want this, can I use this? And then they just see this button over here that says request edit access. When you click on this button, it sends a message to the owner of that document to give you individual access. For me, this means hundreds of emails flood my inbox every day just for this particular template. And I want to help you make the most of this. So when you have viewing access, most of the time, you also have the right to make a copy. Again, think of it like save as. So when you go to File, Make a Copy, that's when you can rename it. And by default, it does name it copy of, whatever the name of the file is. And then you choose the folder, and then it's yours. Okay, this one is mine. I don't want you to edit it because this is just a template for other teachers to make a copy of. So that's essentially the 3 different versions most of you will see. The view only access, the make a copy prompt, or the template button. So just remember, if you are in this format right here, if you see any file up here, go to File, Make a Copy. That is your new best friend. File, Make a Copy is one of the #1 skills every teacher and student needs to understand when you start using Google Drive and Google Docs and Google file types. Again, this works in slides, in sheets, and in drawings. And there are other ways to make copies of things like forms and sites, but it works a little bit differently. But generally, those productivity suite tools that you see, you're going to find File, Make a Copy. Now, let's also talk about how to assign one of these types of files in Google Classroom. So this also happens quite a bit. Go to Create, add an assignment, and so maybe I'm adding one of the choice boards. Here's the thing, just general recommendations. Most anything you find online is not ready and personalized for your classroom. So you need to make that edit copy to have that adapted for your needs. No matter how great that particular option seems at the time, take the time to make sure that those choices, whatever it is, are right for you and your students. So I'm going to click on Add, and you'll see I have the option to add from Google Drive. And since those files exist in Google Drive, that's where I want to go. Now, here's the other thing. Because you have accessed some other people's files, maybe mine or someone else's, you may find those because you have opened those in Google Drive. So you want to make sure whichever file you attach is the one that belongs to you and not one that has simply just been shared. because you will need that copy to originate from you. So remember how we went to File, Make a Copy, and it named it Copy Of. And this one right here is the one I know is mine. And so when I'm in Google Classroom, I want to choose that one that has, and it doesn't have to be named Copy Of. You can name it whatever it is. I just happen to know by looking at it, that's the name that I left it, and then click Add. If you have added someone else's file right here, you're going to see a little warning sign pop up, and it's going to ask you to make a copy of it first. Google Classroom is supposed to do that, although I don't think that works perfectly. And occasionally people have assigned some of my files to their students, and then I get all of the student emails trying to access my files too. So just real quick, remember that you can do that, and you have the option to choose what you need students to do with this file. Now, if this is just a read-only document, like here's the directions, I don't need you to write on it. It's simply a student can view the file. And that means all students view the same exact file. But if I want to make a copy for each student, I choose this last one down here. And Google Classroom will magically make that copy for each student. If I want my students to collaborate in one file, this is the middle option. So just wanted to take the time to point that out. So make those decisions before you assign it in Google Classroom. So I hope this helps you better understand how this works. Hey y'all, I've got a quick Google Chrome tip for you today. It is so easy to add bookmarks to the Chrome bookmarks bar, which is the bar that you see right here underneath your search bar. And so those little icons, some have words, some don't. Those are all bookmarks, and they're usually the bookmarks that I go to the most frequently. So they're really handy having them right there in the bar instead of having to separately go open my bookmarks. If you don't see this bar, come on over to Chrome and go to your three dots, and then go to Bookmarks and make sure you have selected Show Bookmarks Bar. Then your bar should be there, and then all you have to do is click and drag to add to it. So here I am on the Shake Up Learning page, which I hope this is a great page for you to bookmark as well. And you can click and drag from the lock, which is showing that it's a secure site. You may also see an icon here. Just click and drag to add that right into your bar. And now you'll see it defaulted to add the title of the page. But you can very simply take this down to the icon, because my guess is you're going to see that icon and know that is the Shake Up Learning page. Right click, go to edit, and delete the entire name or shorten it to something that works for you. Click save. There it is. There's my little icon. And then you can also rearrange these on the bar. Just click and drag, put them in whatever order you like or prefer. I like to keep them in priority order, but some teachers who really like to color code will even put them in a rainbow order. Hey y'all, in this week's quick tip, we're going to talk about Chrome tabs and how you can use this relatively new feature in Google Chrome to group and name your tabs. You can also color code them. So you can see up at the top, I have 4 different groups of tabs and 4 different colors so that visually I can see what I'm working on and get back to business. Okay, I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm trying to get this a little bit more towards the middle of the screen so you can see how to set up these tab groups. Now, I am fully guilty of having way too many tabs open at once, but this little feature that's kind of hidden inside of Google Chrome can help me visually see what I'm working on. For me, my tabs usually indicate my to-do list. They're things that I'm working on. So let's take a look. The first thing you want to do is to right click on a tab or control click. It's control click on a Chromebook. And you'll see add tab to new group. And once you click on that, you'll be able to name your group. I'm going to keep this short and sweet for Shake Up Learning. And then you can select a different color if you want a different color and click return. So it has now added that first tab to the group. I want to add these next two. So I'm going to right click on the next one. and add tab to group. So now my Shake Up Learning name is right there. And then I'm going to go down to this next one, right click, add tab to Shake Up Learning. So these 3 tabs now all have this gray color. They are grouped here. Now, my next 2 tabs, these are going to be in a different group. So I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to do another new group. I'm going to call this one Lesson Plans. And I'm going to make this one orange and just click return. So that first one is now under lesson plans. I've got my classroom folder in Google Drive open as well. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to add tab to new group, go to lesson plans, and now it is grouped. So I love this. This is a great feature. It really is a feature designed just while you are working, so you can organize things. Maybe you've got a little shopping going on, you've got some work going on, whatever it is, to help you organize things in Google Chrome. Hey y'all, this week's quick tip is about the Google Docs citation tool. So at the time of this recording, it's still relatively new, and this is different than how I've shown to cite sources in Google Docs before. This is full-blown citations in bibliography, not the footnote citations that we have in the Explore tool. So what you're going to do inside Docs is you're going to go to Tools, Citations, and this sidebar will open up. Here you can click on the drop down to choose MLA, APA, or Chicago and add your citation source. Then you select your source type and begin selecting where you found that information, and then enter all the source information to create that and add a parenthetical citation inside your document. So through the magic of YouTube, I have filled out our citation information, and I'm going to click Add Citation Source, and you'll see it now listed here, and it's going to walk you through the first time you use it if you haven't seen these little pop-ups, and then just click on Cite. And now it's going to give me the option here to add the page number. So I kind of wish that was built in, but it's not quite there yet. So now I've got my parenthetical citation, and look at the bottom of the sidebar. So now when I am ready at the end of what I'm writing, let's go ahead and add a new page. We can insert a full bibliography of all of the citation sources that we have collected here. So this is a fantastic addition for anyone who needs to cite sources, but especially our secondary students who really need to learn how to do this properly. And having this built in is fantastic. Hey y'all, this week's quick tip is about how to create an interactive lesson inside Google Slides. So I decided to use one of my templates here. It's not fancy. This is the tic-tac-toe choice board template, and it's interactive because I have linked each square of the choice board to another slide with specific directions for each one of the choices, because sometimes it's hard to cram everything into the little square. Now, keep in mind, what I'm about to show you is not just how to create an interactive lesson, but how to create all kinds of things that students can click on and go to another slide, not necessarily in chronological order. So that allows us to use slides for something other than just a regular presentation tool, and to link to things besides outside resources, like sending them to a website. So it's really easy. Once you get this concept, you will be able to create all kinds of things. You can link words or objects, and guess what? You can show students how to do this, and they can create as well. So let's talk about how this works. So if I click on, for instance, directions here, here's activity 1, and you would add your directions, your links, your rubrics, everything here. And then there's a button down at the bottom to go back to the choice board. Again, we can click on any of these. Now I'm going to number 6. That's how simple this can be. So let's take a look at how to create this. Okay, first things first, you need to create all of your slides so that you have something to link to, like I have here. So I have my main choice board. I also have all of the slides for each of the numbered choices on the choice board. So this is how you do what I call internal linking and make things interactive. Highlight the object or the words, and you're going to insert a link. And you can use Control or Command K on the keyboard or go to your toolbar. And instead of copying and pasting a link right here, we're going to go to Slides in this presentation, and then you're going to find the slide that you want to link to, click Apply, and that's it. That's how simple this is. So you can link to directions, you can link to questions, you can link to answers, you can link to anything you want to and create an interactive Google slide. I also use this method to teach how to create a student table of contents and link slides that have student work all in one slide deck. Use this for so many things, and I teach this in my Google Slides masterclass. Okay, this week's tip is super easy but can save you a lot of clicks. So I don't know about you, but I get really frustrated when I'm working on things, clicking around, going to view different things. And if you just click back here, it's going to take you all the way back to the stream. And we all know we spend most of our time on the Classwork page. So here's my suggestion. Bookmark the Classwork page. And that way, instead of clicking back or clicking on this and taking 3 clicks to get back to where you want to go, you've got it right there in your bookmarks bar. So I'm in Google Chrome, which I highly recommend you're using Google Chrome. So if you click on your 3 dots up here and you go to bookmarks, let's see, this is getting cut off the screen just a little bit. Let me see if I can get this in here, and then you can see my messy desktop for 1 second. If you go to the 3 dots and you go to bookmarks, you want to make sure you have selected Show Bookmarks Bar. Once you have done that, you can add bookmarks right here. So it's right here at your fingertips, which is a great place to add the Classwork page for all of your classes. And it is super easy to do it. All you need to do is hover over that little lock and then click and drag it into your bookmarks bar. It will default to name it Classwork 4, whatever the name of the class is. But if you right click and you go to edit, you can simply name it whatever you want. So I'm just going to say US History, click Save. And that way, no matter where I am, if I'm on the stream or people or whatever, I can just click on that bookmark and go straight to the Classwork page. Hey y'all, I have a Google Classroom tip for you this week. If you allow class comments, meaning you allow students to leave comments in Google Classroom, they may ask you things like clarifying questions like we see right here. And the student is asking, okay, which book do I need to bring to class? Well, I can respond, but I can also tag that student in the response so they know it's for them and so that they get a notification. Now, they will only get notifications if email is enabled or if they have push notifications using the app on their device. But even if they go into the stream where we are right now, they would still see that and know that I was responding specifically to them. Of course, the power in this is that everyone sees the answer. So if other students also have the same question, we can clarify that in one place. So I'm going to respond with the answer, and I'm going to tag the student by typing the plus sign and then the student's email, and they often will pop up as your frequent contacts right there. And now I'm going to click send, and that student has now been tagged in the comments. So if you've used comments in docs, sheets, slides, anywhere else, it works the same way. You can tag other people, other teachers, other users, other students in the same way so that they know the response is for them. So when you're in a collaborative environment or you're in an environment like this where students can see things all together, this helps make it clear who you are responding to. So if you didn't know this, you can actually differentiate assignments inside Google Classroom, meaning every student doesn't have to get the exact same assignment at the exact same time. So when you go to your Classwork tab and you click to create a new assignment, on the right-hand side, you will find a column and it says for in the class period, and then you'll see something that says all students. Click that drop-down arrow next to all students. Uncheck all students and then simply select the student or group of students that you want to give that assignment to. So this is perfect for differentiation, for accommodations, for modifications, and of course for collaborative work where students may be working in collaborative groups and working on slightly different projects, project-based learning, research, things where the topics and the directions can vary, which is great because that's a great way to teach students. We want to personalize the learning and we want to offer differentiated assignments to meet all of their learning needs. So if you've ever been tired of recreating classes, adding the topics over and over again, you can actually create a class that becomes your template that you can reuse over and over again. So it's really easy to do. I'm in a class right now and we're going to take a look at it, just saying that I like the way that I have this class set up. I want to do this again, but I don't want to take the time to go create all of my topics again, add my class materials. I'm ready to start the school year, but I want to save some time. So go back to your homepage. Click on the three dots next to the class that you want to create a template from. Click on copy and name it. My suggestion is to create one that becomes your class template and click copy. So from this template that you can keep clean as a clean version without all of the extras that happen within a regular class. So once it's made a copy and you see your class template here, all you have to do is click on the three dots to make a copy and create each of your new classes. So this is particularly helpful for teachers who teach multiple classes and have to create a lot of classes over and over again. But I hope you like. Here's a quick Google Classroom tip, and I got this one from the wonderful Sean Fahey. And one thing that you can do is make use of private comments between you and students. So I'm logged in as a student right now in Google Classroom, and you'll see I am on the assignment page. And in the right-hand column, there is an option to add a private comment. That's a private conversation between the teacher and student. Even if you allow class comments, this is not something that other students can have. So this is the perfect place for feedback and things like that. But Sean's suggestion is to have students submit a reflection as a private comment when they turn in their work. So the student could type their reflection right here. And of course, we would want to give them really specific directions or a quick prompt on how to do that, like what did you like most about the assignment? What part challenged you the most? And you want to make sure that you also add that to the directions so that students understand what this assignment is. So once the student has completed their reflection assignment, they just send that and post it as a private comment. So as the teacher, to view those private comments, it gets a little confusing. So you can go to your class, click on your Classwork tab, go into the assignment, click View Assignment, and then you'll see next to the student's name if they have left a comment. It'll give you a little preview down here so I can see that student 1 has posted their reflection here as a private comment, and I can also comment to leave feedback. So have you ever wanted to put one of your files in more than one folder? You can actually do that in Google Drive, and they've changed the way it works over the years, but it's still pretty easy to do. So for instance, when I go to my Drive and I select the file that I want to add to a folder, normally I would just right-click and go to Move, which would just move it from one folder to another. But if I want to just add it to an additional folder, all I have to do is select the file, so you can see it's highlighted in blue, use the keyboard shortcut Shift-Z, and this little dialog box will pop up. This is the Add To dialog box. From here, I'm going to go find the folder. Now, this only works in my drive. It does not work in shared drives right now. So I'm going to hit the little arrow and I'm going to go find the folder that I want to add this to. So I have an Edgar Allan Poe folder right here, and then I just click Add. So I've now added it to that folder. Now, here's the thing. I can keep adding it to other folders, which is not really how the old paper files used to work. We had to make a decision. So if I also want to add this to my Unit 6 folder, again, select the file, Shift-Z, and I'm going to go over to find my Unit 6 folder here, and I'm just going to click on Add. And now I've added it to that folder as well. Hey y'all, this week's quick tip is a great Google Classroom tip that every teacher should know. So when you go to create an assignment, you can actually create an assignment and distribute to multiple classes all at the same time, instead of having to recreate assignment after assignment for each of the class periods that you teach. So once you create your assignment, you want to click this drop down here next to your class, and you can select the classes that you want that assignment to go to. But here's the catch. If you decide to distribute it all at once, you cannot schedule them separately. So you will lose the option to schedule when you create that assignment. But this is still a huge time saver if you teach multiple class periods of the same content area, so you can create those assignments and push it out to every class all at once. Hey y'all, it's time to talk about the Shared With Me section of Google Drive. So I mentioned this in a podcast episode, but we definitely need a video. And so many teachers like to stay organized and to clean up the Shared With Me section. But here's the thing. Shared With Me does not belong to you. And I know that's really hard to understand, but it's like a filter. It shows you all of the files that other people have shared with you. You must resist the urge to delete and move things around while you are in Shared With Me. I repeat, do not clean up Shared With Me. So you can see my name is in here, and that's because I have another account that has been shared to this account. And that's how I know the difference. So these are all files that are owned by different Google accounts, not the one you're in. So they're all owned by different people, or they are owned by one of your other accounts. But if you want to organize these into folders, you can do that. And let me show you how. So for instance, if I click once to select, and you'll even see Google Drive is trying to predict what I need to do, and this is it. We're going to add a shortcut. So this little option right here will allow us to add a shortcut, and then we can navigate in my Drive to the folder where I want that to go and to click Add Shortcut. Now, that still remains owned by Jessica. So this this Google Doc is still owned by another teacher, but I can see it inside my folders. She doesn't see my folder. She doesn't see anything else. So that's it. Let's do it one more time. Select the folder or right click. Let me show you another way and click on Add Shortcut. Then you can navigate to the section or create a brand new folder and add it there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my lesson plan folder. Click Add Shortcut. Are you sure? And it says only the owner of that folder can delete shortcuts, and that's me. So that's how you can actually organize what is here. So when you're looking for these files, you will look for them in your drive instead of shared with me, or if you're like me, use the search.